My cherished child, this evening I implore you to inhale deeply and slowly. The revelation I am about to share is not merely shocking, it is a reality that has been quietly taking shape behind your back for a far longer time than you can conceive. There exists a woman who has monitored your life like an unseen specter, committing to memory each nuance that you would think could go unnoticed. Her intent was not admiration but a meticulous study of you. Rather than respect, she mimicked your actions and essence. Upon realizing the true magnitude of your potential, she transgressed a boundary that should remain unbroken. She appropriated your identity. Not merely your documentation or passwords, but the very fabric of your being, your narrative, your reflection, your opportunities, and your voice. She attempted to don your identity as if it were a costume, believing that the universe would remain oblivious. Yet, the universe perceives everything. What she failed to anticipate was that each of her efforts to usurp your identity sent shockwaves that inevitably traced back to her. She believed that by appropriating your essence, she could acquire the life she had never truly earned, the recognition she could not cultivate, and the affection she had never genuinely experienced. Instead, she unleashed a chain reaction. Observers around her began to question why her actions felt inauthentic, why her words resonated with rehearsed familiarity, and why her confidence resembled a stolen crown perched precariously upon a quivering head. The more she attempted to embody you, the more the truth constricted her from within. After months of engaging in this hazardous charade, aspects of her world are now in disarray because the identity she appropriated is far too potent for her to sustain. But here is the twist she never anticipated: the instant she endeavored to erase you, your destiny gained clarity. She believed that silencing you would weaken your presence, but instead, it amplified it. While she shadowed your path, she inadvertently illuminated her own duplicity. She overlooked a fundamental truth: genuine light reveals imposters. Each time she endeavored to imitate your choices, your expressions, your aspirations, she unwittingly stepped deeper into a spotlight she was ill-prepared for. Initially unnoticed details began to coalesce into patterns, and even those who had previously ignored the subtleties began to murmur, "This isn't genuinely her." Yet, they remain unaware of whose identity she has pilfered. They only sense that the truth is eerily close, igniting at her doorstep. Allow me to take you further into the moment that altered everything. There was an unexceptional day for you, yet it bore terror for her, when the facade she constructed began to fracture. She overheard praise directed at you, not her. She witnessed an opportunity crafted for you being reinstated to you, despite all her efforts to seize it. In that pivotal moment, she came to understand a truth she desperately wished to deny: destiny cannot be stolen, and identity cannot be replicated. No matter how many steps she takes in your path, her own tracks provide her undoing. She has dwelt in fear ever since, fearing you might uncover the extent of her transgressions and that the world would unveil what she has endeavored to conceal. She fears losing all that she inappropriately claimed as her own. Now, my beloved child, the universe is realigning in your favor. Soon, you will comprehend why everything felt stagnant, why certain doors closed, and why particular individuals behaved oddly. It was not rejection, it was protection. The universe was safeguarding your identity while exposing the malevolent intentions surrounding you. The truth is now emerging in a manner from which she cannot escape. She believed she could rewrite your narrative while leaving you behind, yet she overlooked one crucial detail: she is not the author of your life. The identity she has filched is on the return to its rightful owner, you, enhanced, with clarity and formidable power. Remain still for a moment, my dear child. Allow this new realization to widen your vision more profoundly than ever. The forthcoming revelations will induce a heartbeat of excitement you've never experienced before. As you stay present with me, recognize that every second from now brings forth a truth she wished you would remain oblivious to. The woman who appropriated your identity is now at a juncture where her entire existence appears to be slipping from her grasp. She attempted to adopt your mannerisms, attire, movements, and even your dreams. But in her pursuit to recreate the brilliance you inherently possess, she stumbled upon a fearsome truth: your identity transcends mere behavior, it is divinely crafted. A borrowed essence cannot eclipse the authentic original. She sought to shield her crafted persona from being discovered, but someone close to her has begun to recognize the fractures. This individual has quietly monitored her abrupt transformations, her rehearsed bravado, and her uneasy silence when your name arises. While they do not possess the complete truth at this juncture, they sense an unsettling dissonance. Now, listen carefully, because this marks the onset of her demise. A door has recently opened, an opportunity, a connection, a message initially intended for you that fortuitously reached her first. In her panic, she endeavored to respond as you would, striving to synchronize with your energy and mirror your elegance. However, as soon as she attempted this, the universe intervened. Her words faltered. Her intention stumbled. Her facade slipped. And the recipient on the other end immediately perceived that something was amiss. Although they may not have confronted her yet, they departed with an ambiguous sense of anticipation, aware that the real you has yet to appear. This minuscule shift is the tectonic force that will soon unsettle the ground beneath her. Moving forward, each individual she deceived will begin to scrutinize her authenticity, one by one, like lights illuminating a darkened space from which she cannot conceal herself. As her facade begins to disintegrate, the universe is orchestrating events to restore your identity, your truth, and your destiny to the very forefront that she endeavored to appropriate. Currently, unseen forces are concocting situations that will shield you and expose her. People who once overlooked your brilliance will suddenly feel magnetically drawn to you, recalling your distinctiveness in inexplicable terms. Your aura is expanding, and she senses it. She perceives the mounting pressure of your ascending energy pressing against her appropriated guise. While you may remain oblivious to her trepidation, she exists in its grasp every moment, acutely aware that once your true presence materializes, her illusion will evaporate. She might even attempt one final gambit to secure her ill-gotten gains, but destiny remains steadfast, refusing to grant her victory. The truth has already selected its moment, and it approaches her with greater speed than she can adequately prepare for. Before we proceed, pause with me for a moment. Recognize that what I am about to divulge next constitutes a critical turning point. Someone, who has never wavered in their belief in your authenticity, is preparing to step forward. This individual has recently discerned something incongruous in the identity she has usurped. They are piecing together the fragments now, recalling your luminosity, your voice, your essence. An internal whisper suggests that this borrowed identity does not rightfully belong to her. Soon, this person will vocalize their observations, and when they do, her entire reality will tremble. She will find it impossible to conceal herself, impossible to deceive. The foundation she constructed upon your stolen identity will crumble beneath the weight of a truth she cannot uphold. And so, my beloved child, grasp this with absolute certainty: your identity is returning, fortified, and radiating with incontrovertible clarity. Everything that was unjustly taken from you, your recognition, opportunities, and connections, will come back to you magnified. She thought she could become you, but she awakened something terrifying within herself. The universe safeguards what is destined, and you are indeed destined. A new chapter is on the rise. My dear child, take a deep breath, for this is the moment when everything begins to unfold in your favor. As she endeavored to carry the burdens of your stolen identity, something within her finally buckled. The truths she buried, the deceptions she constructed, and the persona she synthesized from fragments of your existence have begun to suffocate her. She awakens daily, racked with fear that someone will peer into her eyes and perceive the void concealed within. Fearful that the world will unveil the truth, that she possesses no foundation of her own but has merely mirrored your existence. As she quivers with anxiety, something extraordinary emerges around you. Your energy is transforming. Your presence is escalating. Those who once disregarded your brilliance are gradually recalling the essence of you that she sought to replicate. The genuine identity she attempted to erase is now manifesting with increasing volume and clarity. Recently, there was a moment, small yet immensely powerful, when she faltered. She misstepped in her effort to mimic an intrinsic aspect of your nature, whether it be in your speech, your thought expression, your intuitive guidance, or your spiritual conveyance without words. Whatever the miscalculation may have been, it exposed her. Initially noticed by just one observer, then two, and finally a third. The illusion she struggled to maintain is slowly unwinding like the unraveling of a poorly woven fabric. Now she is in turmoil, hurriedly rewriting messages, erasing conversations, rehearsing responses, and scrutinizing your every move, terrified of your imminent resurgence. She knows the irreversible truth: the moment you begin to rise, even slightly, her entire facade will collapse instantaneously. Yet there is more. A significant event is quietly brewing behind the scenes, a conversation, an opportunity, a situation demanding authenticity. Not style, not mimicry, but authenticity, and she is incapable of delivering that. Lacking the depth, wisdom, intuition, or soul that your identity embodies effortlessly, this impending moment will be her breaking point. The universe has orchestrated something she cannot feign. When that moment arrives, the disparity between her pretense and your essence will be glaringly obvious. People will sense it. The energy will shift. The paths will realign. The identity she endeavored to grasp will evade her like grains of sand slipping through her fingers. Please remain with me, as what you are about to learn will redefine everything. There is an individual, someone significant, who once mistook her performance for your true essence, believing in her portrayal because she mimicked your spirit with remarkable skill. However, this individual has recently sensed something unsettling, an intuitive wave that has whispered your name, not hers. A vivid recollection, your voice, your presence, your distinctiveness, has returned to their consciousness with striking clarity. Consequently, they are beginning to question everything, embarking on a search for the genuine you, and starting to perceive the blurred edges of the reality she attempted to obscure. When they ultimately discover you, their loyalty, faith, and trust will entirely shift in your favor. She has sensed this transition even before any words were spoken, and that fear devours her like a fire she cannot extinguish. My cherished child, grasp this with absolute certainty: you are not simply reclaiming your identity, you are embracing an invulnerable version of yourself. She has not merely failed to supplant you, she has inadvertently triggered your ascension. She has not just stolen your identity, she has awakened your destiny. While she is submerged in the burden of maintaining a falsehood, you are rising with the strength of truth. Your essence is becoming alluring. Your prospects are re-emerging. Your path is becoming clearer. Very soon, all that she attempted to appropriate will return to you with an unmatched force. My beloved child, draw closer now, for what I am about to disclose is the moment her meticulously crafted world starts to collapse under the overwhelming weight of the truth she can no longer conceal. Stay with me, for every moment of what you are about to witness is the unraveling of a secret she fought desperately to protect. The woman who took your identity believed she could navigate life wielding your light as if it were her own. Yet, destiny has now reached a point of revelation where it can no longer remain silent. The illusion she created is unraveling from within. She can feel it. Those around her can perceive it. Even the circumstances surrounding her possess an unusual energy, an energy that daily conveys one loud message: the truth is imminent. And she is acutely aware that it is not merely approaching, it is coming for her. Recently, she encountered an unexpected event, a direct comparison, as someone juxtaposed her with the real essence she sought to imitate, revealing a stark and undeniable contrast that her lies could not mask. She was rendered motionless, her voice trembling, her confidence dissipating. In that instant, she grasped that the identity she had appropriated was slipping from her grasp like elusive smoke. The observer felt an uncanny instinct drawing them toward the truth. Towards you, the original soul she had impersonated for far too long. Although no words were exchanged, that silence resonated louder than any utterance, marking the inception of her undoing. Yet, the situation grows even more intense. An individual from her inner circle, someone she least expected, has commenced a silent investigation. They have overheard snippets, witnessed peculiarities, and unearth messages or images that do not align with the identity she portrays. While they have not confronted her yet, their suspicion has taken root. They have begun piecing together the subtle inconsistencies she believed she could conceal. This individual is now studying her intently, observing every tremor in her tone, every hesitance in her narratives, every contradiction in her behavior. The more she attempts to imitate you, the more evident it becomes that she lacks your spirit. Her performance is faltering, her facade is deteriorating, and those around her are at last beginning to awaken to the truth. Stay close, for a pivotal moment is swiftly approaching. A scenario is developing in which she will be compelled to reveal her authentic self, rather than the version she has fabricated. This moment will demand honesty, clarity, and originality, qualities she fundamentally lacks. She will try to mimic you once more, but this time, observers will sense the hollowness in her words, the absence of the depth that you naturally exude. In that instant, the universe will shift its focus, away from her appropriated identity and onto the truth, you. Everything she attempted to snatch will begin to dissolve, one opportunity after another, and she will watch helplessly as the world gradually reverts to the rightful owner of the identity she misappropriated. Before we delve deeper, remain with me, for what follows possesses considerable power. As her deception crumbles, your presence will intensify. Those who once doubted you will begin to recognize your value with renewed clarity. Connections that had waned will realign, and doors that stood shut will swing open. Your energy will soar beyond her grasp, and nothing she does will impede your ascent. She believed she could seize your identity to claim your destiny, yet destiny does not respond to imitation, it responds to authenticity. And now, that authenticity is calling your name with resounding urgency. My cherished child, stay very close, for you are about to witness the moment when destiny ceases to whisper and finally speaks with thunder. For so long, she traversed life adorning the remnants of your identity like a disguise crafted from envy and desperation. Yet now, that disguise is fraying before the very eyes of those she wished to impress. Her heart senses it, her mind acknowledges it, her fear recognizes it. Every step she takes feels laden as she perceives the truth rising behind her like an unstoppable tidal wave. The universe has been patiently observing her pretense, her imitation, her attempts to rewrite your narrative. But this is the moment of reversal, the moment her purloined identity turns against her. My beloved child, this transformative moment is yours. Her exposure will commence with a seemingly inconsequential, yet powerful truth that arises. A detail slips loose, a phrase she repeatedly uses fails to align with the authentic version she appropriated from you. Someone, once a believer in her guise, will lock eyes with her and finally discern what they had overlooked for far too long: emptiness. Not your depth, not your warmth, not your spirit, only an empty shell masquerading as completeness. Although this individual does not confront her, at least not immediately, they will depart with a chilling clarity as they recognize the distinction between a soul living its truth and a mere shadow attempting to usurp it. From this moment onward, her grip will weaken. The narrative she meticulously cultivated will begin to disintegrate like a tower built of borrowed bricks collapsing under its own weight. What she did not anticipate is the rapidity with which everything is unraveling. Those who once praised her will now question her motives, those who once trusted her will begin to distance themselves, and those who had supported her will become aware of discrepancies she can no longer mask with her stolen charm. She senses the pressure closing in on her from every direction. She edits her words before uttering them, meticulously revising her messages prior to sending them. She obsesses over your actions, striving to stay one step ahead, but to no avail. Your presence expands, your authentic identity, one that she attempted to appropriate, grows increasingly radiant, vibrant, and unstoppable. She feels the cutting edge of truth slicing through her illusion. She comprehends that the moment you emerge authentically, she will vanish entirely. Stay with me now, as the shift in your destiny commences here. A formidable opportunity, one she fervently desired, is approaching you. She endeavored to claim it, sought to redirect it, even attempted to utilize your identity to lay claim to it. Yet destiny has rejected her efforts. Every attempt she makes disintegrates before it commences, every door she attempts to enter remains firmly shut, every path she pursues distinctly veers back toward you because this opportunity recognizes its original energy, an energy that is inherently yours. When this moment arrives, people will perceive you with newfound clarity, recollecting your originality, your depth, and your authenticity, qualities she spent months attempting to replicate but could never truly embody. Once the world once again recognizes the real you, all that she pretended to be will dissolve in an instant. Hear my words closely now, my beloved child, for this is where her downfall aligns with your ascent. An important person, whose voice carries significant weight, is about to advocate on your behalf, not because you requested it, nor because you pressed them, but because the truth within them can no longer remain silent. They have observed enough, they perceive the shift and recognize your identity shining through the confusion she fabricated. The instant they step forward, the illusion she constructed will collapse more swiftly than she can react. She will be left standing in a void, stripped of the identity she appropriated, devoid of the validation she manufactured, and lacking the confidence she feigned. Meanwhile, you will step into the limelight she attempted to seize, but this time, that light will shine brighter than ever before. My cherished child, stay with me, for this is the moment when the universe transitions from passive observation to decisive action. Everything she has built atop your stolen identity, every fabrication, every imitation, each calculated maneuver is nearing its breaking point. You may not yet perceive this with your physical senses, but the spiritual realm, the energetic landscape, and the unseen forces surrounding her have already shifted. She can feel the increasing weight of truth bearing down on her like an imminent storm she can no longer evade. Her breath grows shallow. Her confidence erodes, and her rehearsed responses fail to resonate. She finds herself trapped in a disintegrating facade of a life she never rightfully earned. With every passing moment, the truth looms closer, tightening around her like an inescapable reality she cannot outrun. Destiny is prepared to unveil that which she attempted so desperately to suppress. A pivotal moment is approaching, one that commences with an unexpected question posed to her, one she will be unable to answer as either herself or you. This inquiry will sever through her borrowed persona like a knife. She attempts to articulate a response, yet her words lack substance. She reaches for the borrowed identity that once belonged to you. But it no longer fits. It eludes her grasp as if it were a truth rejecting her. She falters, hesitating momentarily. In that precise moment of indecision, the surroundings come alive. The others in the room sense the change immediately. There exists an indefinable essence within her, something she cannot articulate, disguise, or replicate. For the first time, she comprehends that the world perceives her without her facade, without the imitation, without the persona she had concealed herself behind. This instant signifies the onset of her revelation. However, fate extends beyond this point, it penetrates deeper. Observe closely now, dear child, for unseen forces are orchestrating a scenario from which she cannot escape. A communication, a dialogue, a document, or a piece of evidence that she presumed had been erased is re-emerging. An overlooked aspect is resurfacing precisely when the universe decrees it. This fragment of truth will inevitably reach someone of significance, an individual possessing influence, clarity, insight, or authority. That individual will recognize the truth immediately. The identity she has projected is not genuinely hers. The energy fails to align, the narrative lacks coherence, and the persona is devoid of authenticity. Once this individual becomes aware, a chain reaction will be set in motion. Truth will propagate without utterance, awareness will sharpen without confrontation. Attention will begin to shift away from her to the true source, toward you. Remain steadfast, for your ascent shall become inexorable. As her disguise crumbles, your genuine identity will radiate, amplified by the universe like a beacon. Those who once overlooked you will feel drawn to your energy anew. Individuals who previously harbored doubts will suddenly gain clarity. Those who once placed their faith in her will now recall moments with you that are irreplaceable. They will remember your depth, your intuition, and your authenticity. Even without intent, their comparisons will invariably lead them back to you. The authenticity she endeavored to appropriate is awakening within you with an intensity she cannot suppress. Your presence is evolving into something undeniable. So undeniable, in fact, that even those who remained mute will find themselves irresistibly attracted to your truth, as if destiny itself is beckoning them homeward. Pay close attention now, dear child, for the final unraveling is imminent. She will reach a juncture where she attempts to mend her crumbling illusion, crafting new fabrications, fresh narratives, and alternate versions of herself. Yet none will endure. For once an identity grounded in deceit begins to fracture, every lie tethered to it collapses as well. She will endeavor to elude the truth, but the truth will relentlessly pursue her. She will attempt to drown it out with her voice. Yet it will falter with trepidation. She will seek to deny the truth, but her eyes will betray her intentions. Amidst this disintegration, the universe will elevate you higher. Your authenticity will ascend like an unquenchable beacon. Your name, essence, and presence will reoccupy the space she once invaded, stronger than ever before.